What the Boston Red Sox are doing this season is nothing short of remarkable, and with the low expectations coming into the year, they've surprised a lot of people, and they're shocking me, to be honest. So I'll break down their brilliant stretch of play and much more in this episode of 3 Up, 3 Down. What's up, everybody? Welcome into 3 Up, 3 Down. I'm your host, Peter Vryonis. Today we're going to be talking about the Boston Red Sox, and I know that the All-Star game was yesterday, and Jarren Duran won the All-Star MVP, and they were well represented at the Midsummer Classic, so it was great to see. And even as a Blue Jay fan, I have no problem in saying that the Red Sox have been the most pleasant surprise in Major League Baseball this season, and they're a great team to watch. They play the right way, they play for one another, and they're getting a lot of surprise contributions for this season. So it's been really cool to watch. There was not too much expectation heading into the year with them, and for good reason. I mean, they traded away Chris Sale. They weren't expected to be as competitive as they have been in the past, and them trading away the veteran left-hander who is having a resurgent year for the Atlanta Braves, that just showed their hand, and that showed that they were willing to go out there and maybe not be the most competitive team out there in the circuit, but they've proved us all wrong, and they've been playing fantastic baseball as of late, and it's been really fun to watch. But yeah, before we get into the video here, make sure to hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, and give us your thoughts on the Boston Red Sox as well. Even though I am a Blue Jay fan, I can be unbiased and say that they have been the biggest surprise, and they're shocking me, to be honest. I couldn't believe how well that they had been playing, and they're not too far out of the number one spot in the American League East. That's how well they've been playing, and that's how much the Yankees have been sliding to a certain degree. But they're right there. They're right in the mix. I think they're 3.5 games back of the New York Yankees. I will fact check that for you guys as this video rolls along, but they're close, and they're in a playoff spot right now, and I don't see them looking back. I really think they're going to be in playing meaningful baseball in October once it's all said and done. But let's take a look at Jarren Duran yesterday, who had the deciding blow in the All-Star game. He was named the All-Star game MVP, homered in his first career All-Star game plate appearance. And now we'll take a look at some of his regular season numbers. Only AL player with at least 100 hits, 10 triples, 10 home runs, and 20 steals before the All-Star break. Ever. So yeah, the only American League player ever. That's a first in history. Not really too much of a cherry pick stat, because all those numbers are pretty well rounded, and he started all 95 games for the Boston Red Sox. He leads the MLB in triples, which is nice to see. And Jarren Duran is a great aspect to this team. Now, I know he's had his share of doubters in the past, and I might have been one of them. I think that that game against Toronto where they lost 28-5, and he just showed a lack of effort in center field, that was pretty much the summarization of the first few years of Jarren Duran in Major League Baseball. But he's really started to turn the corner, and that started last season for him, where he had a pretty good year, not a great year, but this year he's an all-star for the first time. He's one of the integral parts of the Boston Red Sox and what they're trying to do over there. And you've got to give Alex Cora a lot of credit for the way that he's handled Jarren Duran. But I say Duran is a great example of a Boston Red Sox because he's a great teammate, and he's really started to turn the corner mentally, and that's great. That's what you want to see first and foremost with these athletes, is for them to be able to compete at the highest level and feel at their peak. And Duran, I mean, he's been very vocal about his struggles with mental health and whatnot, and he's been wearing those pieces, those items of equipment that says "fuck him" on it, and he doesn't care. You know, he's taking the fine from Major League Baseball, and the reason why he wears that is because it's just signifying him defeating the demons that he has faced in the past, and it's been great to see. I'm very happy that Jarren Duran is in a great place right now, playing fantastic baseball, and one of the catalysts on one of the more surprising teams that we've had in over a decade in Major League Baseball. Let's take a look at his season numbers, and they're very good. He's got 5 wins above replacement, and that's just a testament to how great his defense has been and how great his base running has been as well. But it's not only that; it's the 125 OPS plus. It's it's just him being the table setter at the top of that lineup for the Boston Red Sox. That's been the most important thing with him, and he's just gotten better and better as the season has progressed. The power is there as well. Like I mentioned, 10 triples, which is the most in Major League Baseball. So he's been arguably the most valuable player, one of the most valuable players on the Boston Red Sox this season. And the next guy that I want to highlight is this man right here, Rafael Devers, who missed quite some time, but 23 home runs in the first half of the season, which is a career high for him, a 166 OPS plus, shattering his career average of 128. And he's just a superstar hitter. There's no other way to put it. And he was good last season. He earned that massive extension, over $300 million for the course of 11 seasons. And he's really living up to that right now. Who knows how it's going to age, because he is 27 years old and, might not be the smartest contract in baseball, because he'll probably end up at first base at some point. But for right now, especially considering that the Red Sox have a pretty good farm system, I think they can remain competitive for a long time if Rafael Devers sustains this kind of production for the next 3 or 4 or even beyond that. I think he's got more years left in him, but he's been a treat to watch, and he's been one of the best hitters in baseball this season. A superstar personality, and he's starting to play like a superstar as well. And the last guy I want to highlight is Tanner Houck. And I'm not doing the Red Sox justice either by just picking 3 guys and focusing on them for this video. But, Sedano Rafael has been really good. Connor Wong, their catcher, has been a nice surprise. Rob Refsnyder. They're getting contributions from a lot of guys that they maybe weren't expecting that from. And this is without Vaughn Grissom, by the way, who was the headliner in the trade that sent Chris Sale to the Atlanta Braves. So they were expecting a big season out of him. He was supposed to be their everyday shortstop, and he's nowhere to be found. Trevor Story as well, not really, in the mix, and he signed a big contract a couple of years ago. So the Red Sox are getting contributions from, yes, their 2 best players or 3 best players in Houck, Devers, and Duran. But, beyond that, the guys that are making a boatload of money are not really providing them much. But let's take a look at Tanner Houck's numbers right here. He's been one of the better pitchers in the American League. He's up there in terms of Cy Young voting. It remains to be seen how he holds up over the course of a season, because he has been a reliever for the majority of his career. But he's really eating a lot of innings, 117 innings. I think that's a very good number for him. Got a 2.54 ERA, and the whip is really something that stands out to me. That's a very marginal whip, considering that he's a starter and hadn't been a starter for the majority of his big league career. So Devers, Houck, and Duran have been just fantastic this season for the Red Sox, and I'm happy for them. I really am, because they're one of I feel like they're doing it the right way right now. I feel like they are, and I know that they traded Mookie Betts, and some fans weren't happy about that, but I really feel that the Red Sox are headed in the right direction. They had a good draft, and they have a pretty good farm system. So not only are they competitive this year, not only are they ahead of schedule, but I think they're going to be good for a very long time. But that'll wrap it up for this episode of 3 Up, 3 Down. Thank you guys so much for making it this far. I was your host, Peter Vryonis. But before we wrap up, make sure to hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, give us your thoughts on the Red Sox as well. And check out baseballtown.ca for the latest and greatest products, whether it be baseball or softball. We got gloves, batting gloves, cleats, bats, everything that you need to get geared up for the season. So check out baseballtown.ca. But until tomorrow, enjoy the baseball, folks.